My name's Troy Parsons. I'm a fourth year geology student at the University of Calgary and I have Crohn's disease. So I was diagnosed in 2009 at the age of 17. I'm 24 now, so I've been dealing with Crohn's for about 7 years. So just when I was finishing graduating in grade 12 in 2009, I started getting a lot of symptoms and we couldn't figure out what it was. So we were on a family vacation in California when I started getting really bad abdominal cramping and diarrhea and just really bad symptoms. And we didn't know what it was, so it ended up we almost had to fly me home because I was so sick. I was bleeding internally, and we got home and I ended up having to spend the whole summer basically in bed. I couldn't leave the house. I lost about 30 pounds. I was 150 pounds at the end of the summer, and I couldn't really eat. I had ulcers all down my throat. I was bleeding internally. I considered a good day to be less than 20 bowel movements, so was not a fun time at all. I was planning on going to university in fall of 2009, but I ended up having to take a year off just to regroup and figure out what was wrong with me. So when I first walked into the office of the general surgeon that was looking at me, he took one look at me and said, "You're the poster boy for Crohn's disease." Like, I was malnourished, I couldn't eat, I had lost 30 pounds. I could barely walk from the car into the doctor's office. It ended up, being kind of scary that you're 17 years old, you just graduated, you have no idea what to expect or what Crohn's disease even is. So with an autoimmune disorder, your body is basically attacking itself. They don't know how you get Crohn's or why you get Crohn's, but they know it's something to do with environmental factors. Canada has the highest rate of Crohn's disease in the world. 1 in every 150 Canadians has Crohn's or colitis. So basically, when food passes through a healthy person's intestine, food goes through and your intestine expands elastically like a balloon. When food goes through mine, it's already inflamed, so it's really small passageway for the food to pass through, and it's really scarred because it's been inflamed and repaired so many times. So basically it's a fixed diameter. So when it gets inflamed, it's even smaller. So when food comes along through, something fibrous like insoluble fiber like a grape, the skin of a grape would plug and they get a bowel obstruction. So you have to go to the hospital after that because you can rupture your intestines or you can die from it. The biggest thing I have to deal with Crohn's or colitis is diet. So there's so many different things I can or can't eat. I can't eat anything that's hard to digest, like I can't eat any red meat, I can't eat insoluble fiber, I don't really eat a lot of fruits or vegetables. There's just anything that's really hard to break down by your body that'll cause me a bowel obstruction, so I have to be extremely careful with what I eat. Dealing with Crohn's and being a full-time student is definitely difficult. You have to face a lot of other things that most normal students wouldn't have to face. Like, I have to go to doctor's appointments, I get monthly blood tests, I have countless different doctors I go to. I go to dermatologists, I go to gastroenterologists, I see my general physician. I'm always on some sort of antibiotic or drug. This is my 6th year of school. I would have liked to have been done in 4, but I've had quite a few setbacks. When you're in and out of the hospital or you get pretty severe injuries caused by your disease, you can't really do anything about it. So it's pretty hard to go to school full time. I normally only take 4 courses to reduce my stress load. In winter of 2013, I ruptured my quadriceps tendon. That's the biggest tendon in your body, and I ruptured it jumping off a diving board. Just as I jumped, my knee blew out and I fell off into the pool. This was definitely a direct complication of Crohn's disease and the medication I was on. I was on prednisone, which is an anti-inflammatory steroid. I was on it for 3 months prior to breaking or snapping my quadriceps tendon. I started a blog called Flared Up Fitness just to kind of help anyone else with Crohn's or colitis or anyone dealing with some sort of disease. I really wish when I was first diagnosed that I had something like my blog to refer to or kind of see that people are going through the same experiences as me. I felt really alone, and it was really hard to kind of realize that I do have a chronic disease. I'm different than everyone else. I just kind of I really wanted to be normal like all my friends, or I really kind of pretended that I had nothing wrong with me. I just continued on with my life, and I realized that it took me 7 years to realize that I'm not like everyone else. I do have to rest. I do have to take a night off. I can't go out and do everything else that everyone else is doing. I have to really listen to my body, or I will end up sick, or I'll end up in the hospital. So with my blog, I really wanted to kind of open up to people. I really kept my disease quiet. I didn't tell, unless you knew me really well, no one would know I have Crohn's disease. I don't look sick. I don't look like I have a chronic disease, so no one would ever know. That's kind of the thing that I really wanted to get across, is that Crohn's is a hidden disease, an invisible disease. You can't tell I have it. It affects me every day. When I wake up in the morning, that's all I think about all day. You know, whether I can eat something, am I going to get sick from this? How am I feeling? It's really difficult to deal with things by yourself, so it's always nice to have something to refer back to, or you know, you can see that other people out there are dealing with the same thing. All I can really hope for is to make a difference in someone else's life, whether it's one person or it's 100 people. I want to help them, and really it makes me feel good when I post things about Crohn's or colitis, or show them, you know, something that's helped me. And if it helps them, that gives me the best feeling in the world.